But no matter how many starts I get, there's always the same ending. Everything falls apart, and I end up alone.
Have you ever found yourself asking why you feel so isolated despite being surrounded by people? It's fair to say that a great deal of our lives is spent asking essentially the same question: why am I so lonely? This existential question plagues many of us who, like the characters in Bojack Horseman, struggle with the complexities of loneliness and introspection. In the world of Bojack Horseman, characters like Bojack himself often find themselves grappling with profound loneliness. Throughout the series, we follow Bojack, a washed-up sitcom star navigating the highs and lows of life in Hollywood. Despite his fame and success, Bojack is haunted by a persistent sense of emptiness, searching for deeper connections, and struggling to reconcile his inner turmoil with the superficiality of his surroundings. As we progress through the seasons, it's clear that loneliness is a central theme that affects each character in profound ways. Whether it's through failed relationships, personal insecurities, or the emptiness that fame brings, loneliness permeates every aspect of their lives. Bojack himself is a prime example of someone grappling with loneliness. Despite his outward success and numerous acquaintances, Bojack is often shown to be deeply isolated. He tries to fill this void with alcohol, drugs, and superficial relationships, but these only serve as temporary distractions from his inner turmoil. His inability to form genuine connections stems from a deep-seated fear of vulnerability and self-loathing. This is highlighted in various episodes where Bojack's attempts to reach out are met with failure, pushing him further into isolation.
You're going to look around and you're going to realize that everybody loves you, but nobody likes you. And that is the loneliest feeling in the world.
When we look into the Bojack's relationship with himself, season after season, we see Bojack's battle with his inner demons, and it becomes clear that his loneliness is both a cause and effect of his actions. His destructive behaviors and inability to confront his past leave him in a constant state of self-imposed isolation. Even his interactions with others, such as his near seduction of Penny or his turbulent relationship with Gina, underscore his desperate attempts to avoid facing his true self. But we need to know that Bojack's loneliness is not due to some inherent flaw in him, but rather because he is deeply introspective, constantly examining his life and emotions.
That have made you happy?
For a little bit. But then, probably.
So what does it matter?
But there has to be more.
Well, when's the last time you were actually happy?
This introspection, while valuable, often sets him apart from others who are less inclined to look deeply into themselves. Through Bojack's journey, the series explores the profound loneliness that accompanies deep self-reflection. It challenges us to confront our own existential dilemmas and societal pressures. Loneliness, as depicted in Bojack Horseman, is a natural consequence of a complex, introspective mind. It is a built-in feature of a sensitive existence. Much of what we need recognized and confirmed by others, a lot of what would be extremely comforting to share, is going to be disturbing to society at large. Characters like Bojack, Diane, and Princess Carolyn show us that loneliness is often a result of this choice, a tax we pay for our complexity of mind.
Everyone was worried about you, you know. You can't just disappear. You really hurt a lot of people.
Sometimes you need to take responsibility for your own happiness.
You don't think that's a little selfish?
I don't know what to tell you. I'm happy for the first time in my life, and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Diane's search for authenticity and her struggle with societal expectations further emphasize this point. Her journey through loneliness is quite different from Bojack's, but equally compelling. After her divorce from Mr. Peanutbutter, Diane struggles to redefine her identity as a single woman. Previously, she had bent herself to fit the mold of what she thought Mr. Peanutbutter wanted, but being alone forces her to confront her true self, flaws and all. Her solo trip to Vietnam, for example, underscores her search for meaning and self-acceptance in the face of solitude. Princess Carolyn's relentless pursuit of success is tempered by moments of vulnerability and longing for genuine connection. Her sacrifices in the pursuit of professional fulfillment shed light on the complexities of balancing personal and professional aspirations. Behind her tough exterior lies a profound sense of emptiness, particularly highlighted by her struggles with miscarriage and single motherhood. Her journey reveals the strength it takes to start over and find fulfillment outside traditional relationships. Mr. Peanutbutter, on the other hand, is almost the antithesis of loneliness on the surface. Always the life of the party and surrounded by people, he seems to be the least lonely character. However, his constant need for companionship and refusal to engage in self-reflection reveals a deep fear of being alone. His pattern of dating younger women and jumping from one relationship to another showcases his avoidance of introspection and emotional growth. Todd's storyline also explores themes of loneliness, albeit in a more unconventional way. His asexuality and search for purpose often leave him feeling out of place. His relationships, whether romantic or platonic, tend to highlight his struggle with personal direction and acceptance. So, what does Bojack Horseman teach us about loneliness? It shows us that loneliness isn't just about being physically alone. It's about the emotional and psychological barriers we build around ourselves. It's about the fear of being vulnerable, the struggle for self-acceptance, and the painful but necessary journey towards self-awareness. The series suggests that while we may not always be able to escape loneliness, we can learn to understand it, confront it, and maybe even grow from it. They teaches us that it's okay to be lonely. It's not always a sign that life has gone wrong. It's a sign of depth. It's okay to feel isolated, to seek deeper connections, and to embrace our introspective nature. Loneliness renders us elegant and strangely alluring. It suggests there's more about us to understand than the normal patterns of social intercourse can accommodate.
It gets easier.
Huh?
Every day it gets a little easier.
Yeah?
But you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. But it does get easier.